You've really come a long way, Jake, from Kane and Lynch to Let's Play videos. Now you're out making movies. Would you consider it a step up from Kane and Lynch 2 now that you're making movies?
No, not really.
Was that
I think it's
the
kind of
highlight?
it's the same thing. Yeah.
I think the last time you were on my channel was 4 to 5 years ago. So for those that don't know, this is my friend Jake. He used to do Let's Plays and gaming videos. We hung out a bunch, did our videos back then. He has had a shift of career. Man makes movies now.
That's shifting career. Ugh.
Yeah, let's call it that. You reached out to me saying if we could just like do a little discussion on this film you're working on, and I said, fuck yeah, let's talk about it, because I saw your original pitch video on it. I went, I like this. And then you said, can we share it on your channel? I went, absolutely. So give us your pitch, Jake.
Okay, I go way more in depth in like our fundraiser video about the movie, but basically it's the next film that I'm doing that I've written and will be directing. It's called The Other Side. It's this science fiction 1960s comedy movie about aliens that come visit a small town, but the catch is that, oh wow. Was that your phone?
Should have. How professional of me.
No, it's look, we're here. Hey, okay, so the movie's called The Other Side, and it's this science fiction comedy movie. There's a small town in the 1960s that gets visited by aliens, but because it takes several hundred years to get to Earth to study us, the last time that they've been on Earth was in the 1500s. So when they show up, they're 1500s Renaissance Italian men. We're more alien to them than they are to us. So now it's up to the humans to kind of teach them how to be like humans. What we could do is, I have in the fundraiser video, the pitch is it's a better pitch. It's a lot better than this. This sucks. This is like fucking like I'm on an elevator and I have like 20 seconds to be like, this is what my movie's about.
Somebody's got a gun to your head. It's like, all right, movie idea now. No, I like it. It sounds like a fun idea, especially with the whole Italian Renaissance thing. How long have you been working on this project? Is this a recent idea you've came up with, or is this something you've been sitting on for a while that you decided, okay, now's the time?
Oh, dude, let me show you. Let me show you something.
Okay.
Oh, dude. Okay, hold on. It looks like this was like a setup question, but it's not. I just have everything in my life in like arm's reach. When I worked night shift gate operator job, I would have a stack of like greeting cards that you would give to like new people who are like coming into the park, but I worked night shift, so I would never see anybody, and there would be a stack of like 100 of them, and every other morning I would get yelled at because they'd come back and be like, hey, there's like 20 of them left, like where did they all go? But in reality, I was just drawing and writing ideas and like coming up with like dumb shit every night. So one night, this is 7/18/2021, I drew this. So it was this Renaissance drawing of an alien, and I just thought it was funny because I don't know, I just thought there's something to me that I think is interesting about like the Renaissance period, which to me is the most interesting period of history, and then there's like aliens and how do you put them together. So I don't know, it was also probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. Then I started drawing, and everything kind of starts as a drawing. So we have like this stuff, and 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 then it just like it keeps going. And then I wrote the script by hand. Every night I would write by hand, which I'd never done before, but for some reason I was like, this is how it has to be written. Yeah, and then you go through your drafts, and then you have another draft, and then you have another draft, and then 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 you have a final thing where you're like, hey, I think I have something. So yeah, a lot of it is kind of sitting by yourself, coming up with an idea. And I think that's what most of the stuff that I do is like being alone, coming up with a world. So that's the process, you know. It's kind of a lot. It's a lot of shit. I just gave you all of it, so I hope that helps.
You said the aliens, last time they were on Earth was the Renaissance era, so they come back, they're a Renaissance Italian, man. Did the aliens come and influence the Italians, or did they just get influenced by the Italians? Or is it like some ancient Egyptian type of thing, but with Renaissance Italians?
Well, so the main premise is like they come to learn about culture. The reason why they're back is so that they can learn about our culture, but they're really shocked to discover that things aren't like how they were when they first visited Earth, where, you know, everybody kind of dressed colorful and spoke Italian. So, you know, when they show up and there's like people with guns and like cars and electricity, they're kind of like really blown off or like blown away by that. Yeah, they're kind of just these people that want to learn, but they're like children to a certain degree, you know. So kind of the biggest part about the movie, the two main characters, which is Jim and Maria, they kind of adopt in these aliens that come and live with them. That's kind of where it is, where it's like, you know, they teach them and then the aliens teach them as well, you know. So it's kind of a mixture.
So you say they come to Earth and they're just blown back by how different things are now. So is the movie going to be kind of like a form of social commentary or just social mockery using the aliens as your point of view for it, or is it going to be more of a positive thing of them adapting to modern day culture?
It's kind of a mixture of both. I guess they point out things about humans that we wouldn't think about ourselves, you know? They're things that you would think about because they're being presented from like an outside perspective, you know? I guess the whole story is, here are these people who are completely different from you. They don't speak the same language that you speak. They don't come from the same planet that you come from. They don't come from the same time period that you come from. You can't relate to them at all. But by the end of the movie, you know, you're kind of friends with them and you relate to them. So I guess the whole story is essentially like we're all kind of the same in some degree.
Okay, so it has a much more positive thing.
Yeah,
going
I said
for
that
it
now
of
there's
acceptance.
no reason to watch the movie. It's like I know what it's about.
I just put it all in my brain. I can already see it. The
Yeah.
aliens coming out of the spaceship, you know, doing this shit.
Sure, yeah, a little couple of hand movements.
Now, do the aliens have any of their own form of culture, or is it just completely they're a sponge to wherever they last were at in humanity?
I would say that what we get to see from their culture is like their abilities that they have. So one of the things about them is that because they're sent to learn about new cultures and planets, the way that they learn is very quickly. So when they touch stuff, they can kind of learn anything about what they touch. So the second that they touch a book, they know what the entire book is about. That's what one of the characters likes to do. And then the other character is more fascinated on like, oh, if I touch the TV, the whole power goes out in the neighborhood, or if I touch this toaster, I can make toast. That's kind of what their culture is like, at least from what we get to see.
Well, I mean, you've been doing this for a long while. I imagine all the short films you've made over the years, you've got all the skills and whatever. Now it's all coming to fruition for this.
To some degree. I mean, I learn every time I make a movie that I don't really know what I'm doing. So I don't know. I would say like my last movie was like the first movie that I did where I was like, oh, this feels like I'm making like an actual movie. I don't know. I always try to also keep that mindset of like, you're just making a video with your friends. I still like it to have that spirit in it. And that's kind of what I try to keep every time I do a movie. But also, I don't know, you get better at it, but you don't know everything. But I think going into this now, having made a bunch of movies and also like having worked on a bunch of movies this year, me last year couldn't have made this movie. And also like the entire crew, because we all like work on the same stuff together, the crew that I'm working with last year couldn't have made this movie. So this is kind of like everything that we know is going into this film. This is the biggest thing that we're doing so far, so let's just do it as the biggest thing, you know? Like let's not pull any punches. Let's just have it be the craziest wild film that we can make it. And I think if I can pull it off the way that I want to pull it off, I think I could make an actual movie. I think if it doesn't look like shit and people want to work with me again, then I could probably make an actual movie, but we'll have to see.
This is your make it or break it moment, Jake. Don't fuck this up.
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of is to a certain degree. If not, you'll catch me teaching film courses at the community college.
Do have questions on like how far you've got it laid out though. I know you're in the fundraising part of it, but like when you get the funds, say you were to get the check today, it's like how ready are you to make this?
So we have our shooting dates. So the way that everything works is like, you know, you have the movie, you kind of pick a general time to when you're going to shoot. And then even if you don't have your funding, you kind of continue to move forward with the process. So we have shooting dates for like the end of February, very beginning of March. We've also casted the movie, so we did all of our auditions, which were kind of insane. There were more auditions for this movie than anything I've ever worked on. Like, we sent out casting calls like all over the place, and then a couple like casting agencies like shared us around and stuff. So I think in total there might have been like 70 auditions, like something insane that we had to just like kind of sort through. I've never had to do that before for a movie. I mean, most of the time that I've made movies, it's been like, we'll be lucky if like one of my friends is like, yeah, I'll fucking put the shirt on. We narrowed it down. We've casted the movie. We have people who like actually speak Italian, so it's kind of wild. Just like really good actors. Like every actor that we ended up going with was like our choice. Yeah, so we have that. We're locking locations down. I think sometime in January we're doing like makeup test and getting everything ready for the aliens and stuff, because that's all prosthetic. It's stuff that like I don't understand, but more talented people understand, but I don't really know anything about it. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then we're just fundraising.
What's most of the fundraising going towards? You already have your schedule set out and you're going in for makeup and prosthetics, so where's the money mainly going at this point?
A lot of our budget, because this is a 1960s period piece movie with aliens in it, and it's like the fucking wildest movie that I've ever done so far. A lot of our budget goes to making it look like that. So, you know, for the aliens alone, just off of the makeup, prosthetics, and the wardrobe and everything like that, I mean, stuff like that is like 800 already, you know what I mean, like on the cheapest side. And then you start factoring in all of the props that you need to build and buy and everything that has to look like it's in 1960. Very quickly everything starts to kind of get more expensive. I would say out of our 5,000 goal, maybe like $3,000 of it is just to go to like make the movie look like the movie. There's probably a good $1,000 that goes to just feeding people and catering and just like making sure that when people show up on set, they actually have food. And like, if you need to cover transportation or anything like that, you just kind of have it covered. And then there's also, we want to put like 1,000 to the side just for distribution and festivals and making sure people can actually see the movie. Cause, some of the festivals like on the cheapest end are like, you know, that you would actually want to get into on the cheapest side are like $30, you know, on the expensive side is like 200 and up. So, you know, by the time you actually submit to, you know, 5 or 6 festivals, you've already gone through hundreds of dollars. So that's a part of filmmaking that they don't really talk about, even in film school or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but it's the truth. Festival distribution should be accounted in your budget, and it should be something that you're willing to be like, hey, this is a quarter of our budget, if not more, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, go for it. This is what I like to hear.
I feel like I'm talking a lot, but yeah. So that's where we're at budget wise, and we're just trying to make a cool movie that is on like anything I've done before. It's kind of like the biggest thing I've ever done. It's also like the longest project I've ever done. It has the most actors out of anything that I've ever done. Talent show was like probably 15 minutes. I think this movie realistically is like 35 maybe. It's a lot longer, you know, like it's like an episode of a TV show essentially. I mean, there's like a dozen actors that are all kind of on screen sometimes at the same time. So, and then there's extras, you know, there's army soldiers and there's scientists and there's, you know, miscellaneous like neighborhood people. There's so many extras. Like at one time there could be, you know, 20 people just as extras in one scene, you know. So, you know, you got to make sure people are fed, people have places to stay, and it's also fucking late February, early March, so you have to make sure that they're not freezing to death, because I wasn't blessed to live in a warm state. Oh wow, look at that, we're at 1 degrees. There was a 50 car pileup like 40 minutes away from where I live. It was like on the news that like 50 cars had like
They were
hit
just
each other.
all people coming to audition for your thing.
Dude, I don't know what I would do if an actor was like, hey, I got in a car accident while I was coming to audition. I think I just give them the role out of sympathy. Yeah, once again, people who are much more talented than I am go through pie charts and budgets and figure out like, hey, we're spending this on this and this, whereas I'm just like, I wrote the thing and I tell the actors where to stand and what to say. Yeah, as far as money is concerned, I don't touch any of it, because yeah, it's not a good idea.
So we don't have to worry about reading about you on the news, you taking all the money and just blowing it on blackjack or some shit. You don't have to worry about this.
I might hit up the casino a little bit.
You're gonna try and double your film's budget?
Yeah, well, yeah, I tried to double my budget. I bet on the horse races, and the horse died mid-race. They won't compensate me for it. I lost it all. I'm sorry. The movie didn't get made, but I got a really cool necklace.
The Jake Harness apology video.
It's like me like petting a dog. I'm crying. I'm like wiping the tear away, and I'm like petting the dog as I'm sitting in my multi-billion-dollar house because I've embezzled all of the money.
When do you think you might be able to like wrap up production? When do we think we might be seeing this?
Editing will probably be taking place like while we're still filming. An actual edit won't be done until probably middle of April. When it'll be seen by people, it would be sometime in the summer. And how they watch the movie, I don't know yet, because I think I want to have it be in festivals before it's like available for everybody. I know that that's been kind of an issue with talent show, is like we put the movie on YouTube, and I feel like festivals are less likely to take it just because it's like, oh, why have the film in the festival if you can just watch it online? I'd like the movie to be available for people to see maybe like end of summer. I mean, I just have to see where that works out. I also have to see where to put the movie, because I don't know if it exists on YouTube. Like, I feel like a half-hour long movie, I don't know. I feel like it might just get buried in algorithms, or I don't know.
I'd advertise it.
Yeah, and then I also know, like, I know some people put their movie on like Amazon for like 99 cents, and I don't like that, because it's like, you're not making a short film to make money. It's, you know, it's like usually the other way around. Like, people who are making like their 8-minute short film and then charging $2 for you to watch it is like, I feel like that's such a bad business practice, because it's like, I don't know, like, just say you want money from people and you don't want to just show your art.
If you're not thinking of putting it out on YouTube, like maybe you could set up like find a way to have like your own site put up to where people can come view your projects.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with it going on YouTube, but I would have to I would just wait until after it goes to festivals.
I'm enjoying this. This is awesome.
I appreciate having a conversation with you.
I was gonna joke and ask it. It's like, so Jake, you need an extra? Because I've got nothing to do.
Dude, if you're free, like first week of March, well, I'll have to see what before I get yelled at.
I think I've asked most of the questions I could regarding the upcoming film, Jake. I think you've had your 30 minutes.
I've had a couple hours.
Yeah, we've had our fun. This has been a good conversation. So Jake, where can people find you if they want to see your work?
Okay, yeah, go on. Here we go. Go on YouTube. I should be in the description. Just YouTube. HG Jake is the URL. If you just type in like Jake Harness, I should pop up. Go on Instagram. That's where if you actually want to have updates about my life and what I'm doing, just Instagram, Jake Harness, all one word, JakeHarness. You could find our GoFundMe if I have the link properly. It's
all those will be in the
GoFundMe.
description.
Yeah, it's GoFundMe / Other Side Thesis, all one word.
And if none of this works, just go to the channels tab on my channel, and my favorite animes, he'll be under there.
So you'll find me.
You'll find him.
Yeah, you should be able to find me. If you're looking for me, I think you'll find me.
Well, it's been fun talking about this, Jake. Can't wait to see how this goes down. Who knows, maybe I may be able to show up and just fuck around for a day. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.